What would you do if the woman you loved, the one you built a life with, was secretly tearing it all down, piece by agonizing piece, right under your nose? I never thought I'd be asking myself that question, not at 2 a.m., staring at a glowing phone screen in our silent bedroom. The digital timestamp on a grainy video feed confirming my worst fears. The camera hidden meticulously in the cheap motel room on Sunset Boulevard. Los Angeles showed her, my wife Sarah, laughing, her hand intertwined with another man's. The air conditioning hummed, a stark contrast to the icy dread coiling in my gut. My world, once a fortress of trust, was crumbling into pixels, and the man beside her. A smug, unfamiliar face was the wrecking ball. The silence of our home was deafening, amplifying the sound of my own heart shattering. I watched, paralyzed, as their lips met, sealing my fate and igniting a firestorm within me. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The humiliation hit me first, a tidal wave of nausea that threatened to drown me. Sarah, my Sarah, the woman I'd married 10 years ago in a small ceremony overlooking the Pacific, was a stranger. The video, a live feed from a camera I'd installed on a hunch, confirmed what my gut had been screaming for weeks. It wasn't just a fleeting mistake. It was a calculated betrayal. I felt like a fool, a cuckold, a punchline in a joke I hadn't even known was being told. The image of her so carefree and intimate with him burned behind my eyelids. Her behavior had shifted subtly at first, then dramatically. Late nights at work events in downtown Chicago, vague excuses about client dinners at upscale restaurants like Alinea, and a sudden, inexplicable need for privacy with her phone. She'd become distant, her touch cold, her eyes often elsewhere when I spoke. I'd tried to talk to her, to bridge the growing chasm between us, but she'd always deflected, accusing me of being paranoid, of not trusting her. "You're imagining things, David," she'd say, her voice laced with an arrogance that now, in hindsight, was chilling. The slow discovery was agonizing. It started with a text message notification I glimpsed on her phone one morning, a heart emoji from an unsaved number. Then, a receipt for a lavish dinner at a steakhouse in the West Loop, far from her usual work event locations. Paid for with her personal card, not the company one. The final nail was a series of phone calls to a number saved under a generic name, Client X, but the call logs showed frequent lengthy conversations, often late into the night. Each piece of evidence was a shard of glass, cutting deeper into my already wounded heart. As the weeks turned into months, Sarah transformed into someone I barely recognized. She was manipulative, twisting my words, gaslighting me into believing I was the problem. "You're suffocating me, David," she'd declare, her voice sharp, her eyes devoid of the warmth I once knew. She'd pick fights over trivial matters, then retreat, leaving me to pick up the pieces of our fractured home. She seemed to revel in my pain, her indifference, a cruel weapon. The affair partner, a man named Mark, a junior partner at her firm, seemed to grow bolder, sending her flowers to the office, leaving notes in her car. They felt untouchable. Their secret world a playground built on my misery. I hit rock bottom. I stopped eating. Sleeping became a luxury I couldn't afford, and the vibrant colors of my life faded to a dull gray. I'd sit in our living room in our Chicago apartment, staring out at the city lights, feeling utterly alone, utterly broken. The thought of confronting her, of unleashing the truth, terrified me. What if I was wrong? What if she denied it, and I lost everything? But the hidden camera footage, the undeniable proof, kept replaying in my mind. I knew I wasn't wrong. I was just scared. Then, a cold resolve began to set in. The brokenness gave way to a strategic, ruthless determination. I wasn't going to just survive this. I was going to dismantle her world, just as she had dismantled mine. I hired a private investigator, a discreet man named Frank, who specialized in infidelity cases, confirmed everything, providing irrefutable evidence, more motel receipts. Photos of Sarah and Mark together at a secluded cafe in Lincoln Park, even recordings of their hushed conversations in a parking garage near her office on Wacker Drive. I also consulted with a divorce attorney, a sharp woman named Ms. Davies, who laid out my options, each one a step closer to the revenge I craved. I began setting my traps. Legally, Ms. Davies advised me on how to protect my assets, how to ensure Sarah received nothing more than what she was legally entitled to, which, given her blatant infidelity, would be minimal. Socially, I started planting seeds. Casual conversations with mutual friends, subtle hints about Sarah's long hours and new friends. I created a burner email account and anonymously sent a few carefully selected photos to key figures at Sarah's firm, including the managing partner. The goal wasn't immediate exposure, but a slow, insidious erosion of her reputation. The public exposure was orchestrated with surgical precision. It happened during the annual firm gala, a black tie event held at the historic Palmer House Hilton on State Street. Sarah was there, radiant in a sapphire gown, Mark by her side, their smiles too wide, too confident. I had arranged for a large screen in the main ballroom, ostensibly for a tribute video to the firm's founders. Instead, as the lights dimmed, the screen flickered to life, not with old photos, but with a compilation of the most damning footage from my hidden cameras. Sarah and Mark in various compromising situations, their whispered confessions of love, their plans to leave me. The audio, crystal clear, filled the stunned ballroom. Sarah's face, initially beaming, contorted into a mask of horror. She screamed, a raw, guttural sound, as the live stream from his hidden camera played for everyone to see. Mark, pale and trembling, tried to flee, but the doors were locked. The room erupted into chaos, whispers turning into shouts, flashbulbs popping. Her career, her reputation, her carefully constructed facade, all shattered in a single, devastating moment. The aftermath was quiet, almost eerily so. The divorce was swift and brutal, leaving Sarah with nothing but the wreckage of her choices. She lost her job, her friends, and the respect of everyone who had once admired her. Mark, too, faced professional ruin and a very public scandal. I saw Sarah once more, months later, in a grocery store in a quiet suburb of Dallas, where she'd moved to escape the shame. She didn't see me, and I didn't approach. There was no triumph, no joy, just a profound, chilling emptiness. The silence of her ruined life was my only solace.